it's Tamara, and I decided today to start doing a little bit of a process video to share with you about how I'm putting my latest series of vintage junk journals together. This part we're just paging through, and I'm just kind of giving you a preview. I've got all the signatures, well there's 2 signatures and they're put together. All the pages are complete and most of the trims are on. And so this video is mostly just about tucking things into pockets and adding embellishments here and there. So I started out with some Junior Elf books. This one is the Runaway Kangaroos, and the Junior Elf books were made by Rand McNally, and I don't know exactly how old they are, but they were only like 15 cents and stuff a piece, and so I just like to take them apart because they're basically crumbling, and give a little bit of reinforcement to them and add some other pages to them and just make some cute little vintage junk journal or vintagey junk journal kinds of books. Right now I'm just going through to all the pre-made pockets and stuffing them full of the ephemera that I have made or collected, and using my sewing machine for some things, but I had most of the little tucks and ephemera all ready to go. I just had to do a couple little things. So I'm just gonna be quiet and let you watch for a minute. This is one of my favorite pieces of vintage ephemera I've ever been able to get a hold of. They're children's prescriptions from the 1940s. In this instance, I'm just folding them in half and making a little pocket on this French to English picture dictionary page that I've included here. The paper is amazing quality for the prescriptions. It's like they were meant to last the ages or something, but I just love the handwriting, the ink that's used, and the paper that's used for them. This little piece of handmade ephemera is absolutely one of my favorites. It is just a little pocket that you tuck a little piece of paper into, and it has paper on the back that you can write on the back of too. It just is a super clever thing that I got from Moonside Parlors, who I just adore and emulate as much as possible. So now that I have filled all of the pockets that I have in the booklet, I am going to go back through and just look at the places where I feel like it needs to have a little bit more busyness or noise or things going on. So on this page, there's lined paper on there that may be hard to write on, so I wanted to include a couple pieces that you could write on. For this little wedding card here, I found this actually for Moonside Parlor also, just a little corner piece that kind of adds it's like a collage meets tags kind of component. But as I continue on, I'll be doing a little bit of collage work to add color to pages and texture, and I'll be adding clips and like just anything that I feel like needs, any page that needs a little bit more, I'm just going to add that little bit of extra on there to make it look a little bit prettier, because I like a nice busy journal. People often ask me what kind of sewing machine I use. It's just an older model Elna, like a starter sewing machine that my mom got for me like 25 years ago. So it's an oldie, but it's a goodie, and she really serves me well for all of my projects. When it comes to glue, this is my absolute favorite kind of glue. It's called reptile glue. It doesn't have a very pretty bottle, but whatever I stick down with it stays. Like if I do those flat back pearls, they stick to paper, fabric sticks to it, and it dries very quickly, so I don't have to worry about it being ooey gooey. I feel like I save absolutely everything, and so for this part I just kind of pulled some scraps that I had sitting back. Some of them were from a Wildflowers of America book that I had cut the tops off of. Some of them were some of the actual pages from the Rand McNally's Junior Elf books, and then just little scraps from other projects that I have from here and there, and just gluing them together, taking care to look at like the texture. I do appreciate the ripped edges, and there's my little heart that I always put in glue because I want to make sure and infuse every piece I make with lots of love. But so I try to have that torn texture on that edge, and then I think I found, like, you know those little strips on the end of a scrapbook page that is just like a ½ an inch long? So I have a bad habit of saving those because they're pretty too. And so I ended up using that right there, and then a little bit of washi tape to go with that. So you probably noticed earlier I just put a little washi tape on some edges of paper just to add a little bit of color and a little bit of interest to those pages. Washi tape is magnificent for that. Bulldog Clips are one of my brand new favorites. I would put them on every page if it didn't make the book get overly fat. Now I'm just skipping over to the final flip through to kind of take a peek and make sure that it is how I want it to be. Putting the needle in my tip there so it doesn't dry out. Like I said, that glue dries really fast. But I'm just going through and doing a final check through, making sure all the pages are how I want them to look, making sure that everything is embellished like I want it to, and if it's not, then I'll just add a little extra something to some different pages to make sure. You'll see me add extra like little postcards, little snippets here and there. If I notice a tear like I did right here, I'll kind of just fix that real quick and just make sure everything is good to go before I do the final binding. Yeah, and I ended up liking this one a lot. I thought this turned out really cute. I'm really happy with it, and I hope it finds a good home at some point. So I'm just going to be quiet for now, and thank you for watching. It was kind of fun to make my first ever video like this where I'm actually speaking over the top of the music and everything. So I appreciate you sticking with me, and have a great day.